Hey guys, what's up and welcome to the unboxing and review of the KYY X90D, a triple screen 15.6-inch monitor that you can actually connect with a single Type-C cable. It does have 1080p resolution. It is an IPS LCD panel as well with a contrast ratio of about 1200 to 1. So let's unbox this thing and see what we got. Alright, taking the box off and let's look at what we have inside. So first we have a instruction manual. This will be very useful because apparently you need to install a driver in Windows if you want to use a single cable. And this must be a quick start guide. So in this quick start guide you can see it actually looks quite well written, right? First it tells you compatibility tests to make sure that you have any of these symbols on your USB port to make sure it's fully featured, and then it gives you troubleshooting steps here. It gives you instructions for Windows and for Mac as well. I will test to see if this works without a driver and with, because if it works without a driver, even better. And on the back side there are also single USB-C cable connection methods or double cables here, and also it tells you how to unfold it, which means that you're unfolding the right one and then the left one, and then the adjustable stand as well. Okay, let's look at the tablet. Not the tablet, sorry. You know what? There's more stuff underneath. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what sort of cables they give you. So, is that a USB? I think they give you a USB-C drive. I think it's a USB-C drive. So we're gonna test that out and look at what it is. I don't know if this is a free gift or if it comes with every single purchase of this, but we'll take a look. This is take a look here. This is a USB-C cable with the, I don't know what you call it, but then these are adapters as well. Very interesting. Haven't seen that very often. We have a power brick, and we also have, let's see what's in here. And here we have a USB right angle to USB-A. Okay, let's take a look at the screen itself. All right, oh my goodness, this thing is heavy. This thing is 2.2 kilos, so you do have a very heavy, not super heavy because you are getting 2 extra screens, but it is a pretty heavy device. So we're just gonna move it sideways and let's see what we got here. All right. Oh, this thing is so heavy that I'm kind of afraid of breaking it. So for reference, this thing is not small. These has two 15-inch screens. This is my 14-inch Lenovo ThinkPad, and this is another laptop we have in the house, which is a Surface Laptop 2. So this is a fairly chunky device, but let's open it up now. So we're supposed to do this first. Open this up, so we got screen number 1, okay. And then we open up this side, and we got screen number 2, and my camera's not wide enough to show everything in here. Interesting. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about build quality. This thing is very solid. Everything is made of solid aluminum. It feels fairly high quality. The design is a bit utilitarian. There's sharp edges everywhere, so everywhere you're touching, all these are sharp edges. There are some plastics that are on the screen itself, so I'm just going to pull this apart, take the plastic off. Right, that's one. And then on this one, I'm going to take this plastic off as well. Alright, so walking you through this device and the things that I like. So as you can see, there's a carrying handle here, which is going to be very useful, especially because this device is 2.2 kilos. That's almost 5 pounds, I believe. That's very, very heavy. You are getting 2 screens, I guess a backplate, and the centerpiece where all the electronics go. This entire thing is metal. It's all aluminum, I believe. And you also get a kickstand here as well that allows you to rest the device like so. Alright, so when you unfold it, if you unfold the first screen on this side, right here, and then you unfold the second screen, you will notice that these two hinges here are very big and blocky. So when I looked at these hinges, I thought that these hinges here actually were able to articulate. So I thought this thing could move, but I realized it cannot. And the whole reason for that is so that when you fold this in, these screens actually fold up nicely. So one hinge is bigger than the other so that the screens fold up nicely. So in this case, so what happens is when you do that, you can turn up or you can open up the kickstand, and then you can connect your laptop, which is what I'm going to do right now. Actually, before I do that, I'll show you a couple more things. So what you'll see here is you have your USB full feature connection. You also have a power port here in case your USB full feature connection doesn't have enough power. For example, if you're connected to a cell phone. And then finally, you also have your menu buttons here and a power button, and you actually have an individual one for each screen. So you can actually change the device settings for each screen, and they will have completely different settings if you so desire. So before I connect my laptop to the screen, I actually tried it out before and I realized what this was for. So right here is this USB that actually has a USB-C connection and a USB-A connection, and this is actually so that you can install the driver, because I plugged it in without the driver and it didn't work. But once I installed the driver, it was plug and play, absolutely no issue. So I'll show you what that looks like now. So when you plug in the device into your laptop, it should have both of the screens power up, like so. So it should show the KYY logo on both screens, and then it should show no signal because my laptop is currently sleeping. But once I turn that on, the laptop, this will go away. So if I do this, you can see that all three screens are working. I did set this up previously. However, for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you the same video on both screens. So currently I have this video playing on all three screens, and it's at this point that I'm going to walk you through this device. At first glance, you'll notice that this ThinkPad is an E14, so it's not the highest quality display, but it is passable, it is fine. This has about a 300 nit brightness with 1080p. So these 15-inch displays look like they look to be about 350, maybe even 400, because they do look a little brighter than the central one. The thing that I am quite impressed by is that when you first look at these three screens, you'll notice that there doesn't look to be too much difference, at least through the camera. But then, as I kept watching, as I kept observing, I did notice that the color reproduction on both of these KYY displays was actually a little bit more accurate than what I got here, which is not a big deal because this screen is not very color accurate in the first place, but I did find these very color accurate. The other thing that I noticed as well is that, yes, all three of these screens are LCDs, but both of these displays, they actually have very, very good viewing angles. So if I'm looking at this display and I turn it, let's say this way, you will see a lot of fading as that turns, but you're already looking at these screens on an angle, and you can see that both the screens on the left and the right, they're already at an angle, and they look much brighter than the one in the middle, at least the ThinkPad. So when I turn that back, you'll see that it kind of corrects itself, and now the middle screen is almost as bright as the ones on the sides over here. You will see also that the color reproduction on the left and right is very slightly different, and I did that on purpose because this one is currently set on I think it's 9800K, that one is 6500K, and this one is factory settings. Now, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the menu. So if I start going into the menu, there are certain selections you can select here. So first is brightness, and in this case, you can select the brightness, the black level, the contrast, and the sharpness as well. If I go back, you'll see if I go to the color selection, you will see the temperature. Oh, sorry, this is sRGB, not 9300. So you can select temperature, you can select the eco mode. These are 60 Hz refresh rates. You can select the hue, the saturation, and the DCR, although I wouldn't recommend turning that off. And then finally, you can choose other as well, which lets you select the time and the positioning as well. Finally, you can move on to the information, and that tells you the resolution, which is currently at 1920 by 1080 at 60 Hz. And a preset mode of 97. So that's what it looks like, and so I am quite pleased with the quality of these screens. The portability of these screens is actually quite good as well. The other thing to note is that these hinges are very stiff. So whatever angle I move these at, these hinges will stay at. So these hinges do not move and they will stay quite stiff, which is quite nice, because especially if you are currently working somewhere or you are trying to do something, if you don't have a stiff hinge, then these screens will fall backwards, but they won't right now. So there are a couple of devices here that actually have some sort of clamp in the back so that it can clamp onto the laptop. This one does not. So all it is that it's two screens with a metal backing plate and there's no clamp. And all you do is you just put your laptop against it like so, and you're basically good to go. I personally like the style better because no clamp is better. Just put it on the desk. This thing is unwieldy enough as it is, so just go with that over there. So overall, very impressed with the quality of the display. That being said, this thing is not cheap. It's, I think, $500 US, which is not a cheap device because overall you're getting two 15-inch screens, so you're paying about $250 each. Of course, you also have to worry about the middle part, which will cost a little bit more as well. So let's say the middle part is about $50, then you're paying basically about $225 per screen. These are pretty good quality screens. The color reproduction is quite accurate. The resolution is 1080p. There isn't a lot of ghosting that I looked at when I was testing it, and the color reproduction again is good. Viewing angles are great as well. And looking at this, if you want to check it out, I would recommend you take a look at the link in the description below. And yeah, let me know what you think about this device in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.